from South Seminole Middle School in Castleberry, Florida. Direct from the 3rd floor of building number 3, this is South Seminole News.
Get ready. Oh, they pointed to us. That means we can go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a live episode of South Seminole News. This is a special edition on a Friday afternoon during 8th period. How you doing?
I'm doing 85%. I'm a little sick.
She's a little sick.
Yeah.
Well, we have some special visitors today. We have students that returned from Atlanta, and maybe we'll have Miss Reid introduce them all to us.
Okay, we have our 8th grade winner for the Amazing Shake and our overall winner, our district winner, Naomi Flowers. We have our 7th grade runner-up, Azani Austin. And we have our 7th grade winner, Hannah Philby.
And the 3 of them, and there's one other not here today?
And we have Kelis and Naomi. She was our 6th grade winner.
Yeah, 6th grade winner was not here.
To the Amazing
So the 4 of you, the 6 of you, you were on a flight to Atlanta not too long ago.
Yes.
But before the trip to Atlanta, what did they do to get to Atlanta? What did they do here at South Seminole?
We had our school-wide competition, and Ms. Reid, when Ms. Sioka started it and Ms. Reid finished it up, but they had a different task that they had to do in their leadership lessons classes, and I'll also let Ms. Reid talk about what she had them do afterward, leading them to be successful in the competition.
We had our semifinals round where those students, they competed in the cafeteria against each other, and then our top students went to the finals.
They went against each other in the cafeteria?
Yes, we actually had a competition in the cafeteria.
Sort of food fight? What do you mean by competition in the cafeteria? Okay.
So we had our judges there as well, where they, based on a rubric, they actually had to shake their hands.
Oh,
and
I see, okay.
And they had to engage in conversation, and pretty much they had to lead the conversation. And based on that rubric, these students, they were some of our top students there, and they progressed to our final round that we held in the leadership hall.
And one of the things you did with the girls just before they left for Atlanta is you brought them down to the cafeteria for a day. Tell us about the reasons why you wanted to do that.
The reason why I did that was because being that they were getting ready for the Amazing Shake competition, it is quite a competitive competition in Atlanta, Georgia, where they're competing against students from all over, even students from Honduras. So I just wanted to make sure that they were really prepared no matter what task they had that was set before them. So I knew some of the tasks involved reacting and being calm under pressure, and I saw that one of the tasks dealt with being in a cafeteria or a restaurant environment. So I wanted Ms. Phillips in the cafeteria to give them the opportunity to practice.
Any surprises that you encountered when you went to the cafeteria that day that you can think of?
You have to wash your hands every time you touch something unclean or like different food.
And it wasn't just like what you have to wash, but then you can't touch things, or you got to rewash again. I saw that somebody.
So if you touch like maybe like some grapes or something, and then you hand somebody a hamburger, you have to change your gloves before doing that. So I personally didn't know that you had to do that, and that it was so in depth, and it was good to learn that for future reference.
And then you got to work behind the registers for a little while as well? Yes. That's very good. And then you handed out cookies from what I saw. Actually, we do have some video from that. If we could show the video. This is the video of the girls as they went down to the cafeteria that day, a little behind the scenes.
Hello, good morning. We're here in the cafeteria with our 4 top winners from the Hurricane Shake contest. We're getting ready to head to Atlanta, Georgia at the Ron Clark Academy for a national Amazing Shake competition. So we're here in the cafeteria as just one other way for our students to prepare for the competition. They have many challenges where they have to react and they have to be calm in terms of being under pressure. So what better way than to figure out and to see the back end of the cafeteria and the front of the end of the cafeteria and how to remain calm in every aspect of the day.
Today we're practicing our restaurant manners. We're seeing what it would be like if we were owning a restaurant, how to budget our money, how to buy certain materials, and how to serve people and be clean without giving them food poisoning.
We were greeting the kids and we were serving them and we were helping them pay for their food and learning all about like what they do in the back of the house.
So we will have different opportunities as to work a room and know how to broadcast and know how to do interviews on the phone and off the phone. And we will have to know how to do interviews under 40 seconds and things of that sort.
This was an opportunity for the girls that are going to Ron Clark Academy to learn how to face different challenges. As when we go to the competition, we'll be faced with almost 40 challenges with random obstacles thrown at us, like how to manage a restaurant, but then there might be a mistake happening, so we have to fix it, and that's what we learned today.
So that was in the kitchen there. We actually got to go into the freezer as well. And anybody remember what the temperature was they kept it at?
-8 degrees.
-8 degrees, that's correct.
Wow.
Your ice creams are kept frozen solid here at South Seminole Middle School at all times. So just a couple of days after that, you guys went off to Atlanta. So tell us a little bit about your trip. Like, tell us, like, what time did you guys have to get up that morning to get to the airport?
We had to get up at 6:45 in order to like get dressed and pack, make sure that everything was there. Well, that's the time I got up at because I'm organization week. But then we had to get to school at we had to be with our luggage and everything else at 9 o'clock to make sure that everything was there. And then we ended up like packing and getting to go at probably around 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then you checked in at the airport, security, all that stuff. It was probably cool. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm getting on a plane. But I'm with my teachers.
No, we were cool.
That's what I heard. That's what
We
I heard.
were. It was a bonding trip. We got to get closer, learn more about each other and our experiences, and that actually strengthened us for the competition. Just getting to get a more in-depth view of their experiences as they've gone through real life situations.
And the name of the competition was called the Ron Clark. Is that correct? The Ron Clark Academy?
Ron Clark Academy.
That's their school name, but the competition was called the National Amazing Shake or just the Amazing Shake.
Can you give us an example of one of the events that you took place that you did while you were there?
Okay, so there was this one event, and it was where it was a clown.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So it was a really
Gonna have
creepy
to explain
clown.
that.
It was from It.
The It Clown.
And they didn't tell you it was a clown, so the room was dark, and he was sitting at a table with a balloon, and you couldn't see him when you first walked in, but he'll say hello, and then you'd see him. And you would have to have a conversation with him and try to treat him like a normal person, but it's really disturbing because it's a clown. So it was hard. And then after that, you had to go onto the runway, and you didn't get any time, so they just shoved you onto a runway, and you had to act like nothing happened. So that was.
I did see video or photos you guys put up of them
Right.
on the runway. So you didn't know much about that ahead of time?
No, not at all. We actually got pamphlets before entering the competition, and they had pictures kind of representing what the challenges would be, but we didn't know exactly. So once we got into their big gym, we got to see some of the challenges displayed, but some of them were kind of hidden from us. So really, I thought it was really enticing how we would go from one challenge. The first one was on a golf cart trying to get a millionaire to invest $1 million into your company.
Oh.
And then right after, they push you into doing an interview. And then they had a little bit of twist to it because one of the interviews, the guy was just sitting there all slouched down. And as you know, somebody in an interview, they're supposed to really be welcoming and ask you questions, but you kind of had to lead it. So they threw challenges at you that nobody would really expect.
Did you get any breaks in between these challenges, or was it do this, okay, now go on the runway?
No, not at all.
The sound kept going off, and then you had to move to the next.
It's like a
station.
gong.
Well, all of this sounds terrible.
It was so much fun though because before that we had a practice round. So we got to really get used to it and get a feel for it. And all of the staff at RCA and anybody helping out, all the judges, they spoke with you calmly and had conversations with you. And it wasn't like they were just throwing you out there to the wolves to really fend for yourself. Everybody was learning from each other. And going into it, everybody was calling it this big scary competition. So I thought everybody would be really going against each other, not really helping each other out. But I learned to not walk into it thinking I want to be the winner, but to really progress into thinking everybody here is a winner and let's just help each other grow more.
And how many students were they going up against, do we know?
132.
And out of 132 students, Naomi Flowers?
Was ninth place. Yes.
Very, very good. Now, I said there'd be no math, but what percentage is that? 9 That's it. So you came in ninth place. Now, are all the kids there and they announce your name and you get to go up to the podium? Is that what happened?
What they did first, so on Sunday, there was the last day of the competition out of 3 days, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 3 days. And on Sunday, we walk into their gym and they set it up to have seats for everybody to listen to anybody doing speeches. So Ron Clark gets up there and he speaks about what just happened, which is a round for the top 3 finalists. And then he basically gives us a cliffhanger of who's going to be the winner, and he goes into giving honorable mention awards. Or honorable performance awards, and I got one of those, and they said that basically the entire time they were looking at people, even if it wasn't during a challenge, and that's the people that got honorable performance awards, the ones that kept the performance that they did during the challenges
so
out
you
of
were
the
always
challenge.
on. They were supposed to always be on.
They're always on.
There was one part of the competition where it was the first part, and you would go into a room, and it would just be like kind of mellow, and you would just stay there. But they had an actor, and she had a panic attack. She was supposed to be acting like she had a panic
Suddenly
attack.
it's Halloween Horror Nights.
So they're trying to say, okay, well, if you would have gone, even though you knew it was not part of the competition, would you have still like comforted her, or would you have just ignored her and act like nothing happened?
So basically, the person who went and comforted her got those 20 points or the full points for that, but everybody else did not get points at all, so they got a jump start, and I believe that helps me too, because I was one of the people who helped her out. And then the entire time they had cameras following you around, and you got to answer questions from round to round, and I got to speak a lot and learn more about the competition as I went through it. And I got to broadcast to my parents and everybody else who was watching the live video of what was going on.
Yeah, I saw one of you had posted the live feed. It was up on Facebook, so we were able to see some of the things that were going on. One of the things that you guys did in preparation for going to Atlanta was going to the. I was at the Leader in Me Symposium.
Yes.
You were there as well.
Yes.
And this is my first year. This is my first half year. Okay, I've been doing this for 4 months. So I was sitting in the audience for the Leader in Me Symposium, and I saw it from the point of view of not just somebody who's a teacher now, but I kind of like look around to see, just to get a feel for everything as like an outsider. Right. So first of all, Dr. Coleman-Baker, you were up there on a panel.
I was.
You got to sit up there with like 5 or 6 others, and they'd kind of pass the microphone and had a question. Now, you don't know the questions ahead of time. No. It's just kind of we're going to go. Yes. You think, you know what, she's an adult, she'll be fine. And she did, she killed it. It was excellent. But then they did the same thing for students.
Right.
Do you remember what the scenario was? We had Naomi Flowers up on the stage.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my recollection. This is what I saw. And I'm looking around, I'm listening to the people behind me. I was in one of the front rows. So there's a lot of people behind me, lots of people behind me. They're almost just like this. You were on the end at the symposium. And there's one microphone for all these kids. And there was about this many here, except they were in a straight line, not curved. So whenever a student wanted the microphone, they kind of have to like lean in, like, okay, I can handle this one. Right. So they were just asking random questions. There were probably 1,000 people out there, right? 1,000 people, and these students are out there. The middle school students are just out there answering questions. It was amazing. So once again, this is just my recollection. This is what I recall happened. So we were sitting out there, and somebody asked a question. A teacher stands up and it says, I have a question. What would you do to help your students or your fellow students or your teachers with the 7 habits? And the students all kind of like look at each other, and this one kid's like, I'll say something. And this little boy was there, and he's like, I would tell my teachers that I would help her be a good teacher. And I was like, oh, that was so good. That was so good. Naomi Flowers raised her hand. So the microphone goes down to her, and she's like, well. And I don't remember exactly all the things you said, but it was all about 7 habits and sharpening the saw and begin with the end in mind. And then this is the part where I listen, and the people behind me are like, oh, she's good. She's very good. She's very good. Then another. Is it time to go already?
It's time to go already.
Okay, so there's like 3 other sets of questions, but every time it's like, oh, Naomi Flowers, she's so good. Then it comes down to the last question, and it was like, what would you do? What's something that's going on at your school, that you're something very proud of? And they all kind of look at each other. Naomi Flowers is at the end, and the microphone is here. She looks down like, pass me the ball. so the microphone starts coming down to her, and people behind me are like, oh, shh, she's going to say something. She's going to say something. Everybody be quiet. She says, oh, by the way, at my school, we have a partnership with PNC Bank. We have a bank at our school.
She did.
And they were like, oh, that's amazing. And then she said, and I'm one of the branch managers. Naomi Flowers drops the mic. There are people in the aisles like, oh, this girl's amazing. It was like that episode of Oprah where they gave cars to everybody. And it was like, oh, I want her at my high school. 2 principals were fighting on what school she was
they were.
She was amazing.
To hire her.
So this was a great experience for you guys to get prepared for Atlanta. Just have random questions thrown at you. But you didn't know ahead of time at all any of that stuff that was coming at you.
No.
Oh, amazing. You have anything you want to say? I'm exhausted.
I just want to say that I was just truly amazed by the presence, how they carried themselves overall. They're still kids, but they were amazing kids. When you go to that shake, everything is amazing. But
Absolutely.
They carried themselves like young ladies, like true hurricanes. And I could not have been more proud of them for everything that they did. and their performance.
Well, great job to all you girls. Congratulations. And I'm glad you hung out with us for a little while because I know the bell rang. It's time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go.
So that's all for now. We want to say goodbye. Thanks for watching our special Friday episode. And what do we always say at the end of the show?
Ms.
Don't
Reid,
forget to star!
Ms. Reid got me sick.